Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive? Today we're going exploring AI and book writing,
Oh, yeah. Super interesting stuff.
especially for all you thought leaders out there, the ones thinking about sharing that big idea with the world in a book.
It's like a whole new world of possibilities and challenges.
Absolutely. So we're going to unpack all of that today.
See what this AI thing is really all about when it comes to writing a book.
Our guide for this deep dive is an article by Karma Spence called AI Can Write Your Book, but here's why that's a big mistake. It's a LinkedIn newsletter article.
Catchy title.
Right. Gets you thinking. So if you're even a little bit curious about AI and book writing, or hey, maybe you're already working on a book.
Or thinking about it.
Yeah, thinking about it. This is for you. We'll break it all down, the good, the bad, and the potentially ugly.
So you can decide if AI is the right tool for you.
Exactly. Okay, so we've all seen those ads and headlines.
AI writing a book in minutes.
Sounds pretty tempting, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to knock out a bestseller in an afternoon?
Well, there's that saying, if it sounds too good to be true.
It probably is.
Probably is. That was my first thought.
Mine too. Like, come on, there's got to be a catch.
There's always a catch.
So Karma Spence, she makes this point, that speed doesn't equal quality.
Yeah, just because AI can churn something out quickly doesn't mean it's actually good.
And for thought leaders, that's a big deal.
Huge.
Because your book, it's got to be more than just a bunch of words, right? It's got to have your voice, your expertise, your unique insights.
Exactly. It's your chance to really establish yourself as an authority, share what you know with the world.
And build that connection with your readers.
Right. That's what sets you apart. A real person, not a robot.
Speaking of robots, have you actually seen any of these AI-generated books or articles?
You know, I have. What'd you think?
Honestly, pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
A lot of generic stuff, surface-level information, no real depth. It's like missing that spark,
Like reading a textbook? Kinda, yeah. And that's the thing. Nobody wants to read a textbook disguised as a thought leadership book.
Okay, so we've got this allure of AI, this speed and this ease.
But then we've got this potential downside, this risk of ending up with something generic and, well, frankly, kind of boring.
So how do we find that sweet spot where AI is helping us, not hindering us?
That's the million-dollar question, and that's what we're going to dig into next. So finding that sweet spot, it's really about understanding those risks, right? Knowing where AI can trip you up.
Right. And Karma Spence, in an article, she lays out some pretty serious pitfalls to watch out for.
This is what she calls the AI trap.
Okay, so the AI trap, what is that exactly?
Well, it's that thing we were talking about, ending up with a book that sounds generic.
Like a robot wrote it.
Yeah, like a robo-book, she calls it. And for a thought leader, I mean, that's like the kiss of death.
It's like totally undermining the whole point of writing a book in the first place.
Right. You want to stand out, not blend in.
And it's not just about sounding generic either. Spence points out that it can actually hurt your credibility too.
Oh, absolutely. Readers can tell, when something's not quite authentic. They can smell a fake a mile away.
And then there's the whole SEO thing.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Spence says Google and Amazon, they're cracking down on AI-generated content.
They're getting pretty good at spotting it, too.
So your book, it might not even show up in search results, which defeats the whole purpose.
Exactly. Nobody's going to find your book if it's buried under a mountain of AI-generated fluff.
So we've got these risks, these pitfalls to watch out for, but what's the solution then? How do we use AI without falling into, the AI trap?
Well, the good news is, Spence, she doesn't say we got to ditch AI completely. She just says we need to use it, smartly.
Strategically.
Strategically, yes. Like, we need to be the ones in control, not the AI.
It's like AI should be the assistant, not the ghostwriter.
100%. It's there to help us to make our writing better, not to do the writing for us.
So using AI for those tasks, like you said, brainstorming, outlining, maybe even some research.
Yeah, all that stuff that can take up so much time and energy.
And let's be honest, sometimes those tasks aren't the most fun.
Not at all.
But then when it comes to the actual writing, the storytelling, the part where your personality shines through.
That's where you, the human author, take over.
We're bringing those personal experiences, those unique insights that AI just can't replicate.
And that's what makes a book truly captivating.
I love that analogy Spence uses, the bionic writer.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It's like you're using AI to enhance your abilities to become a super writer.
Without losing that human touch.
Exactly. You're still in control, guiding the process, shaping the story. So what about that final draft? The one that goes out to the world? What's the secret sauce there?
Well, Spets, she says it's all about making it your own. AI can help at those early stages, but you got to come in and really infuse it with your voice, your style, your personality.
It's like taking those raw materials, those AI-generated building blocks, and turning them into a masterpiece.
You're the artist, AI is just the paintbrush.
I like that. You're the artist.
Hmm.
So we've talked about the risks, the pitfalls, but let's flip it for a second. What are the actual benefits of using AI? How can it make our lives easier as authors?
Well, I think the biggest one is obviously time.
Yeah.
AI can handle those tedious tasks way faster than we can.
Like way faster. And that frees up our time and energy for the creative stuff.
Exactly. We can focus on the big picture, the overall narrative, instead of getting bogged down in the details.
And think about research. I mean, that can take hours, days, weeks.
AI can sift through mountains of data in a flash.
It's like having a research assistant on steroids.
Seriously. AI can pull up relevant studies, articles, even summarize key points for you.
So you can really dive into the information that's actually useful.
And spend less time digging through, endless Google search results.
So it's about working smarter, not harder, right?
Totally. Using AI to our advantage so we can focus on what we do best.
Being creative, insightful, and, uniquely human.
That's the key. It's not man versus machine, it's man with machine.
Right.
Working together to create something awesome.
I like that. So we've covered the allure, the trap, the benefits, but there's one more piece to this puzzle, and it's a big one.
Yeah, the ethical side of things.
Because just because we can use AI to write a book doesn't necessarily mean we should.
Right. Right. There are some serious ethical considerations to think about.
This is where things get kind of, well,
It can make you think, right? Like, what does it even mean to be an author these days when AI can, basically write a book for you?
it's a really good question and a tricky one to answer. I mean, on one hand, you've got this amazing technology that can, like you said, pretty much write a whole book.
But then there's this whole other side, this ethical side, where you got to ask yourself, okay, just because I can use AI to write a book, does that mean I should?
And if so, how do we do it in a way that feels, I don't know, responsible, authentic?
Right. Like, how do we use this power for good and not, for evil?
Exactly. So where do we even begin with something like this? What are the big ethical questions we need to be thinking about?
Well, I think one of the most important ones is transparency. Being honest with your readers about how you used AI in the writing process.
Okay, so that means passing off a fully AI-generated book as your own work, right?
Yeah, definitely not.
Right, but it can get kind of murky, can't it? Like, where's the line?
It can, yeah. And that's why it's so important to be upfront with your readers about how you used AI.
Like, did it help you brainstorm, write an outline, do some research? Readers deserve to know, don't they?
Absolutely. It's all about building trust.
It's kind of like those food labels, right? You have a right to know what's in the food you're eating, so shouldn't you also have a right to know how a book was made?
I like that analogy, yeah. It's about knowing what you're getting.
And as an author, being transparent about your process builds credibility.
Exactly. And credibility is everything, especially for thought leaders.
So Spence, she talks about this idea of the ethical AI author's code. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's basically a set of guidelines for using AI responsibly.
So it's not about saying no AI whatsoever. It's more like, here's how to use it in a way that aligns with your values as an author.
And in a way that's fair to your readers, too.
Okay, so transparency, that's a big one. What else? What other ethical landmines do we need to watch out for?
Well, intellectual property is another one. Like, who owns the copyright to a book that was, partially or even mostly written by AI?
Oh, that's a good question, and I have no idea. Is it the author, the AI company, some kind of joint ownership situation? It's kind of a legal gray area, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The laws haven't really caught up with the technology yet.
It's like we're in this wild west of authorship right now, making up the rules as we go along.
It's exciting, but also a little scary, right? Like, we're in uncharted territory here.
Totally uncharted.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got transparency, intellectual property. Anything else we should be thinking about on the ethical side?
Well, I think it all boils down to this. AI is a powerful tool, but it's just that, a tool. It's up to us as humans to use it wisely and responsibly.
It's kind of like the early days of the internet, right?
Yeah.
All this excitement about its potential, but also a lot of fear and uncertainty.
Yeah, exactly. And it took time for those ethical guidelines and norms to develop. We're kind of in that same phase now with AI.
So we got to figure out how to use AI in a way that benefits humanity, not harms it.
Right. How do we make sure it enhances our creativity, not stifles it?
Big questions, for sure. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. we explore the allure of AI book writing, those potential traps to watch out for, the benefits of using it strategically, and, of course, the big ethical considerations.
And through it all, we've emphasized the importance of your unique voice, your expertise, your insights. AI can help you get those ideas out there, but it can't replace the human element.
That's what makes a book truly special, isn't it? That connection between the author and the reader, that shared experience.
Exactly. It's not just about the information, it's about the heart, the soul, the human touch.
So as you embark on your book writing journey, whether you choose to use AI or not, do it with intention, creativity, and a commitment to ethical authorship. Your perspective matters.
The world needs your stories, your insights. Go write that amazing book.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll be deep diving into your book. Until then, happy writing, everyone.
Happy writing.